He cheated, man. He cheated. He had rockets up his ass. He cheated.
Do you still feel
He
that?
cheated. Cheated. Total cheat.
Yeah, was you shocked when the referee decided to jump in? Like, yeah.
Then we're going to 12 rounds. At least we're close. Maybe we're equal on the scorecards, and then we get five forwards in the end.
Tyson Fury does not hold back here as he reacts to the controversy, calling Oleksandr Usyk the biggest cheater in boxing and claiming that even in their own rivalry, Usyk only wins through unfair moments and questionable decisions. He suggests that Usyk's success is built on shortcuts rather than pure skill in the ring.
What did the psychologist say? He could never come back to where he was
Yeah.
because of his,
Unless he-
psychological things. He'll never get back to where he was because I smashed him to pieces twice. Literally took years off his life. And the fact that he's 40-year-old, the sand's run out of the bottle for him, nothing to do with these defeats to me and admitting he'd been beat. He can never get back to where he was. One reason, he's past his prime. It's gone. Sell by date. It's like if you get the best steak ever, don't give $1,000 for a steak. You leave it in the fridge for a week and it goes off. You ain't going to eat it. You're never going to get it back again. You can't rejuvenate it. Unless there's a youth serum.
Something that Usyk does, a little bit of tricks of the trade.
Well, yeah. Listen, winners win. They win ugly. Winners win anyhow. Win ugly. Usyk is a master of that. Whatever it takes to win. He's done it all through his career. I'm not here to go back on make it to do. I could go into details from before in the past, not just with the fights he's had with my fighter, fights he's had with other people. Yes, it does always look to the referee. There was one point, I think it might have been round 5, where the Rico hit a perfectly good shot to the body, and he pointed to the referee to say that was low. No, that was not low. And it's just the things he does. But nevertheless, like I said, winners, which he is a serial winner, they find their way to win, and he found.
Tyson Fury goes on a heated rant calling Oleksandr Usyk a cheater while framing the situation as something dangerous for fighters in the long run. He shifts between criticism and reflection, claiming even great champions eventually get exposed or pushed too far. His tone mixes frustration with personal philosophy, suggesting boxing success comes with hidden costs and long-term consequences.
His health as well as everything else. So it's a sad state to get in, but I hate to say it, but I told you so. I said this would happen to him, just like it happens to all the great fighters of the past. We all go on too long, we all spend all our money, and we all regret it in the end. But changing back to the other question you asked me, how am I dealing with my defeats to Usyk? I leave it in 24. I think with me being a total psychologist, without someone telling me to leave it in 24, I sort of worked that out for myself, that I'm very blessed and very, very, very fortunate to be in this position. That I have my full family with me, and my dad and my brothers and my wife and my kids, and I can do anything I want. I chose boxing. I choose boxing because I love boxing. I ain't boxing because, I spent my money. Because I don't really spend any money. I don't really spend a lot.
Don Charles strongly defends his stance, insisting the stoppage came after the bell had already sounded. He believes the fighter was still fully aware and fit to continue, and argues the referee denied him the basic right to recover in his corner. In his eyes, the decision disrupted a fair ending to the fight.
Do you think he took the piss a bit with the time laying down on the floor after he...
Yeah, that wasn't a low blow. You didn't see him grabbing his balls, did you?
Right.
Yeah, that was a real shot, but...
Du Bois pushes back hard against the controversy, insisting the shot was legitimate and not a low blow. He suggests the reaction from the opponent was exaggerated and questions the drama around the moment. From his perspective, it was a clean shot that has been unfairly twisted in the narrative against Usyk.
I thought it was incredible. I thought Rico was unbelievable. I mean, it was the rhythm. Usyk just couldn't get to terms with it, and I had Rico up in the fight going into that 11th round, and I felt like Usyk, buzzed him a little bit in the 10th, and actually could have had him. I was saying to AJ and everybody else, he's got to stick it on him there. I think he can actually stop him, and he did stop him. I thought it was a poor stoppage. I know that you can never think about how long left in the round, serious punishment, even though the knockdown was heavy. So
Oleksandr Usyk stays calm and detached from the noise, refusing to engage in controversy. He makes it clear that decisions and criticism are not his concern, focusing only on his performance inside the ring. This is classic Usyk, composed and locked in on boxing, not outside debates.
I do not think about this. A lot of people say, hey, it's early, it's night. Listen, it's not my job. My job is boxing.
This analysis shows how misleading the pre-fight expectations were, with many assuming an easy night for Usyk. Instead, Rico's toughness and awkward style turned it into a real battle, forcing Usyk into deep waters. It highlights how underrated Rico was and how hard Usyk had to work just to stay in control.
Oleksandr Usyk, what the hell was that? Oleksandr Usyk, who is a two-time heavyweight undisputed champion, went in there with a guy by the name of Rico Verhoeven, who had a record of 1-0 with one knockout in a fight that he had over a decade ago, who has made his name primarily in kickboxing as a kickboxing legend. Not a boxing legend, a kickboxing legend. On the surface, that is seen as an easy fight for one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, one of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of gloves. Right? That is seen as an easy fight on paper. Oleksandr Usyk went in there, and for 11 rounds, he made that fight hard. No, not only did he make it hard, Rico Verhoeven made it hard for him by showing a tremendous engine, tremendous strength, very unorthodox, but he made it difficult for Oleksandr Usyk, to the point when you are watching this fight, you're thinking Usyk needs not just a knockdown, he needs a knockout to win this.
Rico expresses clear frustration at the stoppage, insisting he was still fully capable of continuing the fight. He believes the timing was wrong, and even points to the bell as proof the round was ending naturally. In his view, the only fair outcome would be an official review, either a no contest or scorecards decision.
Yeah, Usyk is a tremendous champion. I love it. I love everything about him, what he stands for. But, you know, the thing about, the fight game and competitive sport in general, an upset is always around the corner. You can never discount anybody. And, you know, that's the thing about, boxing in particular. This is your last chance. Buy the pay-per-view on DAZN.
Michael Bisping just dropped a bombshell. He thinks Oleksandr Usyk cheated. And honestly, after what we saw go down in that ring, it's not a crazy take. This fight was supposed to be a comfortable win for Usyk, a boxing masterclass. Instead, it became an absolute war. And then everything exploded into chaos that nobody saw coming.
Usyk, what the hell was that? Oleksandr Usyk, who is a two-time heavyweight undisputed champion, went in there with a guy by the name of Rico Verhoeven, who had a record of 1-0 with one knockout in a fight that he had over a decade ago, who has made his name primarily in kickboxing as a kickboxing legend. Not a boxing legend, a kickboxing legend. On the surface, that is seen as an easy fight for one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, one of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of gloves. Right? That is seen as an easy fight on paper. Oleksandr Usyk went in there, and for 11 rounds, he made that fight hard. No, not only did he make it hard, Rico Verhoeven made it hard for him by showing a tremendous engine, tremendous strength, very unorthodox, but he made it difficult for Oleksandr Usyk, to the point when you are watching this fight, you're thinking Usyk needs not just a knockdown, he needs a knockout to win.
Liam Go couldn't believe his eyes. He expected Usyk to control everything to cruise to a decision. But Rico Verhoeven turned it into a brutal war of attrition. Usyk wasn't comfortable, he was fighting for his life. This wasn't strategy, this was survival. And that's when the fight shifted, forcing Usyk into a position where only a knockout felt certain.
Like that's why right away when the referee came in, I wasn't dazzled or whatever. I was looking at the referee and like, why is it stopping? Like, we're almost there. So it didn't make any sense to me. And then now looking back at it, even the bell went.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And that's something he should be aware of. So Yeah, of course mistakes can be made, but then, looking back at it, the referee should admit.
But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Rico Verhoeven himself is absolutely ing furious. He insists he was fully aware, ready to keep fighting, ready to continue. He believes the timing of that stoppage directly sabotaged the outcome, especially with questions swirling around the bell. He wants a formal review now. Either overturn it or send it to the scorecards.
Think of the future. So from the bottom of my heart, I wish him to retire at his prime and being remembered in ages as one of the most prominent and greatest fighters of all.
Verhoeven isn't just frustrated, he's openly questioning the referee's integrity. He feels robbed, convinced he was ahead on the scorecards, convinced he was winning. This isn't just a post-fight rant. This is a fighter demanding justice, demanding answers, demanding that his winning performance isn't erased by a controversial call.
Yeah, of course mistakes can be made, but then, looking back at it, the referee should admit his mistake, look back at it and say like, hey, so it's either a no contest or we go to the scorecards. And then think if we go to the scorecards, I was ahead.
Now hold up. While Verhoeven is screaming for an appeal, Usyk's former promoter Ismus offers a starkly different perspective. He's talking legacy, emotion, and respect. He wants Usyk to retire at his peak, focusing on his place in boxing history, completely sidestepping the controversy. It's a reminder that for some, Usyk's status is untouchable.
It's for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Let the man go down. There's a 3 knockdown rule in boxing. There was only 1 knockdown there. I'm just a little disappointed for Rico going out there fighting like that, showing the heart that he did, and almost pulling off the upset because he was clearly ahead on the scorecards. And then to get dropped in round 11, get back to his feet, take a few more shots but not go down and the referee stop it. Nah, man. Nah. After going through 11 rounds of war, you're going to stop it because of that? I didn't like that at all.
But let me tell you something, that legacy talk, it doesn't wash away the stench of controversy for everyone. Because despite the emotional plea, the questions remain. The fight itself was anything but a typical Usyk masterclass. And the stoppage, that's what has everyone talking and frankly divided.
Completely honest, I just saw the end because of all the comments I was reading, and they stopped the fight after the bell. So the bell went, and then they stopped the fight. So I think we might just go and appeal it because this doesn't make any sense, right? No. Like if the bell goes and then stop the fight, then why? It's like then it's my time to rest.
And get this. Michael Bisping, a man who's seen it all in combat sports, isn't holding back. He's openly stating what many are whispering. He felt Oleksandr Usyk cheated in that situation. This isn't some casual observation. This is a former world champion saying something absolutely damning about a current pound-for-pound king.
He got up on the 8 count, and then the 10-second clapper went, so it was right towards the end of the round, and it was almost like the referee could have let the fight go on, just so we could have seen the final round, because on a lot of scorecards around the ringside, people had Rico ahead by about 2 or 3 rounds, and difficult to argue with. I don't know what Usyk was doing. Has Usyk got old overnight at that?
That accusation from Bisping changes everything. It reflects just how deeply divided opinion has become around this incident. Even experienced fighters, guys who have been in countless wars, are questioning what they saw. It fuels the narrative that something potentially unfair, something shady, influenced the outcome of this massive fight.
What can I say? It's done. But when you're fighting for the world title and your man's put such a good performance up and he's in the fight, okay, he gets put down, but he gets back up. And he was missing and he's firing his shot. He tried to fire back as well. So the bell's gone and then he decides to stop it.
And Verhoeven, he's not letting it go. He's still pushing for that appeal, still questioning the referee's integrity, still believing the fight should be a no contest or go to the scorecards. He feels cheated, plain and simple, and he's not going to stop until he gets some form of justice. This is a man whose career was potentially derailed by one call.
They robbed that fucking guy.
What's next for Rico, do you think?
Okay, huh?
What do you think is next for Rico?
Dylan White. I think Rico should fight Dylan White. Huh?
Yeah, what about the rematch?
They got a rematch.
So there you have it, a controversial stoppage, a furious fighter demanding justice, and a former champion dropping bombshell accusations of cheating. This isn't just about one fight, it's about the integrity of the sport itself. What do you think? Was it a fair stoppage, or was Verhoeven robbed? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to stay on top of all the wild controversies in combat sports, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. I'll see you in the next one.